All right, everybody, if you cannot fast, I would suggest to do this instead, to reverse the diabetes. Now, there's findings from studies that show that a fasting mimicking diet can actually make your metabolism and your immune system healthier and might even be slow down your aging. So people, for example, in those studies, fasting mimicking diet, right? A 5-day fasting mimicking diet each month. These people saw improvements in their body weight, their body fat, and insulin levels, blood sugar levels. Those with liver issues had less liver fat, and their immune system deemed to get younger. They looked at certain factors to determine if their immune system is doing better or worse. Doing the fasting mimicking diet regularly can help prevent diseases and aging problems without using drugs. And it can help reverse diabetes, kidney disease, neuropathy, you name it. Now, research also suggested that fasting mimicking diet can boost brain health. Now, why are we talking about fasting mimicking diet? Because when we talk about fasting, people try it and they sometimes don't do very well and they end up quitting it. Well, this is another way for people who cannot stand long periods of fasting or should not be standing with a long period of fast. Then that's a great alternative method with very similar results. Now, people on a 3-month of this fasting mimicking diet noticed better memory and thinking skills because of the reduced inflammation and stress, which are horrible for your brain, right? So I'm going to tell you about how to exactly do this diet. So I'm not just going to talk about some theoretical benefits and stuff like that. We'll put that into practice. So stay with me until the end of the video. We know that diabetics are very high risk for cancer. So almost every day, a diabetic patient of mine comes to my office telling me that they are diagnosed with cancer. And it breaks my heart. I'm like, yeah, we have been dealing with this, controlling the blood sugars, they're doing great, but they still end up with sometimes heart disease or cancer because, again, diabetes is not just a blood sugar problem, which most people don't realize. So we have to do things holistically to not just to lower the blood sugar, but also to prevent cancer, to prevent heart attacks, right? Going back to our studies here, especially a lot of animal studies showed that fasting mimicking diet can shrink tumors and make chemotherapy even work better. So human trials are still ongoing to see if the fasting mimicking diet can help cancer patients. Those people actually are possibly going to live longer based on the study findings because by targeting the aging and metabolism, fasting mimicking diet might slow the aging, extend life based on what we already know, the autophagy and all the telomeres and so forth, right? For example, the mice, which they don't live too long, the mice who were on the fasting mimicking diet actually, in reality, lived longer than those on a regular diet. And if you think about it, we have very similar genes to rats. That's why we use poor animals for our scientific purposes. But if you think about it, most animal studies will show benefit. And as long as you're not exposing yourself to a new chemical like a medicine, you don't have to worry about the side effects. I mean, we're talking about fasting mimicking diet, which is super healthy. So there's not going to be a side effect or downfall for it. Now, what is it really? So, and then we're going to talk about how it really works. But the fasting mimicking diet is, first of all, designed to give the benefits of fasting without really fasting. So you will still be on certain foods, but not every food, right? It's going to be 5 days each month. On the first day, you eat about 1,000 to 1,100 calories. So no matter how big or how small you are, that's probably the good way to start because you have to really reduce your calories significantly. And then 700 to 800 calories for the next 4 days. So you're going down, but it's not like a tragic, dramatic drop. And then you drop it to 1,100 if you're eating like 2,500 calories a day. You go to 1,100, 1,200, that's like half of it. And then you drop again for another 30, 40% down to 700, 800 calories for the next 4 days. Now, this is only 5 days a month, so it's not really a forever thing. And you put the discipline in there, you will get the results. Your body thinks that at such a low calorie, your body thinks that you're fasting, but you still get the nutrients. How does it work? Because your body constantly burns energy even at the fasting state, like basal metabolic rate, right? So that metabolic rate will use that energy that are small coming in, and then there'll be nothing to store to use later. So as a result, your body will go into fasting very quickly. On the first day, For example, you might have mixed vegetable salad with avocado and lunch, nuts and seeds as a snack, for example, and a vegetable broth for dinner. This diet includes obviously low protein, high fat, and low carbohydrate, similar to keto, but not exactly. If you're choosing carbohydrates, they're going to be the ones that are, low glycemic index, low glycemic load, and so forth. On the next 4 days, though, you eat less calories. So, for example, kale soup with olive oil, a handful of olives as a snack you can do, plain lettuce salad for dinner. You'll be like a little rabbit for a while, but not forever at least, right? It's important to drink lots of water and herbal teas because your body will need that. So here's more ideas for you, by the way. So if you are trying to do fasting mimicking diet and scratching your head, hey, what am I going to do? I'm going to give you some day-by-day instructions. Now, first day, you're going to go for a smoothie for a breakfast, right? Made with unsweetened almond milk. A handful of berries, like frozen berries are perfectly fine, but we're in the season right now, so go for it. A spoonful of chia seeds and a few leaves of spinach. Great. It's lunchtime, right? You're not fasting, but you are fasting. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do a large mixed green salad with cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, sliced bell peppers, and a quarter of an avocado, and a light vinaigrette dressing made from olive oil and a lemon juice. So delicious. Now you're hungry again, right? You want to have a snack? Well, a small handful of walnuts or a few slices of cucumber with hummus will do it. It's all about the portion size. Don't go over like you're having tiny amounts, so because you're keeping your calories down. So look at how many calories you are getting per serving when you eat something. It's dinner time, right? Well, we can have some roasted vegetables like zucchini and bell peppers, mushrooms. We can drizzle some olive oil and herbs. You can accompany that with a small portion of quinoa if you really want to have something hearty, something like a little more carby. Now, day 2 to day 5, you're going to go for a simple breakfast. Avocado toast on a slice of whole grain or sprouted bread, seasoned with a pinch of salt and pepper and a squeeze of lemon. See, I'm giving you bread here. You can have bread if you're following this diet. Lunch, for example, a bowl of vegetable soup with low-starch vegetables such as kale, celery, carrots, and seasoning with broth. Now, snack, you want to have snack? Sure, a few nuts, again, almonds, or a couple of slices of bell pepper and whatnot. And for the dinner, you can steam some vegetables. You can do broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus. Serve with a drizzle of flaxseed oil or a small portion of tahini sauce. If you don't use tahini, you should. It's so good, so amazing. Tips for hydration. Obviously, you need to drink plenty of water throughout the day to stay hydrated. Herbal teas are recommended without added sugars, also a great option. As you know, SugarMD Diabetic is a great option. So if you're not using it, you can make it taste better. Some people say, oh, it doesn't taste great. Well, it's not a black tea. It's an herbal tea, of course. But you can make it taste better by, using your creativity, which I'm not going to get into right now. Broths and soups are great. You can integrate vegetable broths and light soups to provide some warmth and comfort to your diet. The most importantly is you have to portion control. So yeah, these healthy things I'm telling you to eat, you can, but if you are having lettuce, but you're having a huge bowl of lettuce with a lot of olive oil on it, you're gonna get 800 calories in one sitting, and that's not what I'm saying, right? So we are fasting mimicking, which means that we are really reducing our calories. So if you do it right, it can really offer great health benefits, and it's only 5 days a month. But if you have diabetes, though, most of you do in this channel, the main concern will be low blood sugar, or even dangerously low blood sugar. Why? Because you're going to have a lot less calories, and your carb intake will go down, your insulin resistance will go down, and if you're taking the same medications and your blood sugar is already pretty good, and you keep taking the same medicines, your blood sugar may go low. Now, how do you do that? Well, first of all, you need to avoid or reduce the amount of sulfonylureas like glimepiride or say like glyburide, glipizide, whatnot. And the insulin, for example, like basal insulin, bolus insulin, you have to talk to your doctor to adjust it. If you want to be on the safe bet, you can't get to your doctor, I would say like on those days, cut back on your insulin by around 50% if everything is in great control. If you're already running 200, 300, maybe wait until your blood sugar hits the 100 or below range. Then you need to cut back on your basal insulin by 20 to 30% when I say basal insulins, like your Tresiba, Toujeo, Lantus, Levemir, and so forth. But if you're not sure about it, and if you have not done it before, make sure, try to get to your doctor. And don't experiment yourself too much unless you're very confident in what you're doing. Because diabetes management can be complicated, and one wrong move can put you in the hospital. So, if you're feeling dizzy, confused, right, excessively tired, these are all could be signs of low blood sugar. So, the most important thing when you change your diet for a short period of time, you have to really monitor your blood sugar. That's why glucose monitoring systems, CGM like Dexcom, Libre, whatnot, they are great because you're gonna catch things way before things really start to happen, and you will get alerts and whatnot. So it's a great investment if you guys are not already using so. Either talk to your doctor, and I think there are some over-the-counter stuff will be coming up soon, and I think we will even offer that on our website. We'll try to offer that on our website for a lower price for you guys, so everybody can manage and monitor their blood sugar a lot easier. But thanks for watching. Please remember to share and like this video. Give a thumbs up, and guess what? I'll see you in the next video. Keep watching, keep learning. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this channel so far, and I hope you subscribed already. If you didn't, do it. And if you did, watch this video right there. I think that will help you too.